Welcome.
To the joy of coding.
Hello and welcome to the Joy of Coding. This is episode 62, I believe. I never know. I never know what the episode is. And I'm pretty sure today's is episode 62. Yes. Welcome to episode 62 of the Joy of Coding. My name is Mike Conley. We're going to be hacking on some Firefox stuff today. It's going to be a great day. I hope you're having a good one. I hope my day can make it better. I hope this video will make your day even better. I'm just improvising here. Let's get started. What are we doing? Alright, switching to my screen. Okay. So, here is my Evernote with today's agenda. So, standard preamble. If you're new to this, you might not know this, but there is kind of a plan. There's not really a plan for what I'm hoping to do today, but there's kind of a roadmap. I don't really know how things are going to work out, but I just kind of try and stick as close to the roadmap as possible. And if we divert from the plan, that's okay. There's no problem with that. That's life. So first, I just want to make sure everything's working. My audio is working. My sounds
It's me,
are
Mario!
working. I'm recording. All is well. I've pumped up my font here so you can see it. Okay, so that's good. Self-check is done. So what I'm hoping to do today is finish up some addressing some review feedback for this Make Initial Browser Remote Sooner that we've been working on for a long time. We're really close to being done. However, this morning, a rather rude awakening, a rather rude, unfortunate discovery is I'd pushed the patch to try, and if you look, you'll notice that there are a bunch of new failures. And we need to figure out what is going on. I'd already done a lot of work to fix a bunch of other tests, so either something has changed in the meantime, or somehow in my refactoring or rebasing, I've broken something. So we have to figure out what's gone wrong, because these tests all need to pass at least most of the time. If they're intermittent, like this number 3 one, that's okay. And number 4 is intermittent, number 5 is intermittent. But BC7, for example, the browser Chrome test 7, is failing consistently across the board, and we need to figure out what's going on there. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that is... Yeah, this is also bad. So there's a test here, Moki test 1 is failing on E10S pretty consistently, and we're going to need to figure out what's going on there too. So these two things are going to be addressed, hopefully, in this episode. And we'll hopefully also address some of the review feedback from Smaug. I've already addressed some of it. I addressed a bunch of it yesterday. There's just a chunk more of it to do today. And hopefully, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, if I'm lucky, by the end of today, I can put up a new patch for a review. And all the tests will pass. So that's the goal. And we're going to see if it works. So that's kind of the idea for today. And if any of that fails, I've also got a bunch of need infos. A bunch of need infos got stacked up while I was on PTO, and I really need to go through them. I'm hoping to get all of these ones done today and answer some questions for people, because blocking people on information is bad. But before I continue, I want to give a quick shout out to Dennis. Shout out to Dennis. Hello, Dennis. Dennis and I met earlier today, and he told me he'd been watching The Joy of Coding. So, hello, Dennis. You said you watched the show, and I said I'd give you a shout out. So there's your shout out. Hello, Dennis. And you also said that the air horn was slightly loud, so I'm going to turn the air horn down, but I'm going to play it anyways. All right, hopefully not too loud. There you go. How's it going, Dennis? So let's get started. What is up with these failing tests? So I started actually looking at this a little bit today already. Here, I'm going to put this try push in the agenda. So yeah, I didn't even say the agenda. How is this useful to you if you can't click on any of the links? Well, if you go down, if you're watching this on Air Mozilla, there's an additional links section, and there's a link. Oh shoot, I haven't put the. I never did that. Hang on. Let me do that real quick. Error Mozilla 62, the joy of coding. Let me just quickly drop the link into the agenda. That's the one. So that should have today's, was it July 6th? Yeah, okay. And the rate this episode link. Need to update that as well. Whoops, didn't mean to indent you. Bam. So, for reals updated now. If you reload the page, if you're watching this on Air Mozilla, then in the additional links section, there should be an up-to-date agenda here, an agenda link. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it should just be in like the description. Right. So let's. I think everything's in order. Sorry for the sort of hand wavy screw up there, but let's move on. So this test failure, what's the dealio? I've actually, like I said, I was poking at it a little bit today. Let me clear my console and pump up the font a little bit so you can see. And I'll also bring the bottom up so you can always see what I'm typing. I never want to be in a state where you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got this test, bug 422590, browser bug 422590, and if I run that test, we fail. And we fail because, well, I think it's because there's this error on the stack right around here. Where is it? Yeah, new browser is undefined. Type error, new browser is undefined. I think that's related. Usually, whenever there's an error near your test failure, it's a good idea to check that out. So I think this error is probably related, and I was starting to poke at it and like figure out where this error is coming from. But first, let us see what this test is doing. Let me simplify my layout a little, close some other things that I don't need. No. Okay, here's the test. I've actually modified this test for simplification's sake, but this is basically how the test functions. The test is entered, and then we tell it, okay, we're going to end asynchronously. So we ask it for wait for explicit finish. And then we call this test customize function, which takes the window, and this test chromeless function over here. That's because we're going to run test customize, and then we're going to call test chromeless after test customize is done. So this is like a callback that test customize calls whenever it's done its thing. Now what does test customize do? It takes a window and a callback, and the first thing it'll do is it'll get the file menu in the browser, make sure that we have it, make sure that it's enabled, and then it's going to open up the customize mode. And whenever it's open up customize mode, it's going to make sure that the file menu is disabled during toolbar customization, and then we close customize mode. And then whenever we've closed, then we will also make sure that file menu is re-enabled after toolbar customization has been exited, and then we'll call the callback, which in this case is test chromeless. And what test chromeless does is it will open up a chromeless window. So Chrome equals no, or wait, chromeless. Oh, test a chromeless window. Oh yeah, sorry, we've gotten rid of the toolbar. That's what's going on. Is the toolbar is gone, but otherwise the browser is the same. The toolbar is gone, and then we make sure that we've opened the window, and then we do this. Once the delayed startup in the window is finished, we see that the search bar is hidden for some reason. We make sure that the search bar is hidden, and then we make sure that customize mode can be entered and exited on the chromeless window. I don't even know why we'd need that, but that's the test. That is the test, people. And so we've learned something today. What do we have a today I learned sound? Today we learned a thing. So now what do we do with this information? Well, I can tell you right now that this part, the first call to the normal window works just fine. It's the second call that's busted. And so let me get us back into that busted state. Whoops. Yeah, test chromeless. This is the part that's broken. For some reason, when we open this window, and that doesn't surprise me that this is what's there's a breakage here because we're opening a window, and that's what we're changing. And part of my instincts tell me that maybe it's because somehow the window that we're supposed to be opening isn't behaving correctly. Like maybe we're parsing the string wrong, because that's recently something I refactored based on review feedback. Is I changed how we treat some of these feature strings, is what we call them, the feature string, and I wonder if maybe we're doing that incorrectly. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to run this test, and the test is already running, but it failed, and that's why we just exited. But I'm going to run this test, and we're going to take a look at the window that it opens. Now, let's take a real close look here. This is interesting. The toolbar is missing, and the tab strip is also missing. But notice how it's not like a standard pop-up window that one would expect whenever you ask for no toolbar. Like it's almost like the toolbar and the tab strip are hidden, but the window itself thinks that it's a normal browser window, which is really interesting. I would expect that the window would look more like a standard pop-up window, like this, well, without the toolbar. So let me see what whenever I call this function, because I can call this inside my browser console in my running Firefox. Let's just see what it looks like normally, what it's supposed to look like. Interesting. So notice that the URL bar, the search bar is available. Search or enter address. I can't actually type in it, but there it is. Location is yes, toolbar is no. So that's interesting. That kind of bolsters my theory that this window is not behaving correctly. And then we can enter customize in it, and we exit customize. Yeah, and it's a little weird whenever we do that, but this is not a normal window. This is like not a normal situation. Can I even customize this window? Interesting. That's a very strange situation. So yeah, this is where I think the problem is I think we're opening this window incorrectly. If I run, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna just run the browser instead of running the test. Get rid of that. Don't need that. And we're going to open up the browser console. We're going to paste the exact same thing I'd put in the other browser console before. We're going to take that, and we're going to put it in here. Interesting. See, like, the window opens, but it doesn't have the location bar. That's really interesting. So the location bar is missing, and it definitely should not be missing. So let's take a quick peek at the rules of this window that we just opened, because I have a feeling we calculated them wrong. So the good news is I think this test failure is not just like a flaky test failure. I think we've actually caught a bug in the code that I wrote, the change I made. So that's good. So I believe I've selected this window to now inspect. Like if I were to inspect it, yeah, I can inspect it, no problem. So I can actually look at the window object itself. I'll pump up the font a little if I can. Come on, come on, come on. No, you won't let me pump up the font. That's disappointing. Sorry. Um, Chrome hidden is toolbar location and directories. That's an interesting part. The Chrome hidden attribute. We've got this is like the thing that's dictating. This attribute on the window is what dictates the things that are hidden. In this case, we're hiding the menu bar, the toolbar, the location, the directories, the status, and extra Chrome. And in the normal case, whenever I do that over here, let me actually write this down in my notes. So big set of notes, big chunk of notes here. Done that, done that, done that. Okay. So the interesting thing here was the Chrome hidden attribute in the bad case is this. And I know this font's probably pretty small. Let me pump it up. Pump it up. Pump the jam. Okay, so that's in the bad case. So let me really call that out. Bad case. Chrome hidden attribute is this. Now in the good case, what is the Chrome hidden attribute? Actually, I could do that just by doing this, and then in the browser, new win, get attribute. No, new win default. What do I want? Document element. Yeah, Chrome hidden is this. Menu bar, toolbar, that stuff. That looks a lot like the same. Is it? No. There's something different. Location is missing in the good case. So location is being hidden. And it shouldn't be. Okay, that's the problem. Now we can actually like dig in and figure out why we're hiding the location. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to do a debug build. Actually, maybe I can get away with not doing a debug build. In the background, I'll do a debug build. I don't want to waste too much time, but oh, I'm using this like mozconfig tool. Mozconfig help. Mozconfig L, and I'm on debug mock build. And now, like, what is this one using? Mozconfig. No mozconfig activated. Awesome. So mock build, we should be doing. This should build the debug build. So if you're confused about what I'm doing, yeah, it's doing obj debug. There's this tool called mozconfig wrapper that I heard about while I was in London that you should totally use if you use multiple mozconfigs. I'm going to put a link to it in my agenda. Mozconfig wrapper. Basically allows me to easily manage and switch between mozconfigs without having to like set an environment variable, which normally I've been doing, but I've just recently switched over to using mozconfig wrapper, and I'm much happier with it. So check it. Sync. Okay, let's go back to this, and unfortunately the font size reset. So now I have to go back down here. Okay, so we've got this thing building in the background. I'm going to monitor that over here. And while we're waiting for that, let's see if we can figure out why the location, we think that the location is being hidden. So, NS window watcher, calculate Chrome flags is like the important bit. And I refactored it so that we call calculate Chrome flags helper. Calculate Chrome flags helper is going to look for, it's going to use calculate Chrome flag and then location. This is where it calculates whether or not to set the location flag. And maybe I did this wrong. Calculate Chrome flag for locations. Let's take a look at the definition here. We see whether or not it's supposed to be force enabled. And what's the test says location is yes. Location should be yes, buddy. Win has option. Maybe it's I messed around with win has option too much. Options name found is 1. Well, what I'll do is I'm going to run the test, but I'm going to do it in the debugger with the debugger LLDB. I feel good. I feel like we're on the right track here. I was worried before. I thought we were about to go into like a downward spiral or like I thought it was racy tests again, and that always takes forever. Ooh, hold on a second. Planned IRC maintenance. Maintenance Friday. Okay, don't worry about it. So I'm going to set a breakpoint in the parent. NS window watcher. Calculate Chrome flags for child. Is that? No. Calculate Chrome flags for child. Should be. Yeah. Window watcher calculate Chrome flags for child. Break. NS window watcher calculate Chrome flags for a child. Well, maybe we need to like run, and then it'll attach the breakpoint. Probably. Yeah, there we go. Breakpoints added. Okay. Oh, hey, I expected us to hit our breakpoint. The dealie? Break. Calculate Chrome flags for child. Why are we not hitting my breakpoint? That's annoying. So I guess that'll be something we wait for from our debug build. I could also use, instead of LLDB, I could use no auto run, and then Nightly is going to start up. Not this one, not 72801, but Nightly 33970. And I'm going to open up Xcode. Maybe I'll attach my debugger there. Oh man, look at that CPU load. Woo! So 33970. What is going on? Story of my life. Okay, and now here I'm going to set my breakpoint. Now that I've attached and all as well. This window watcher. Chrome flags for child. right? Oh, you know what? Hang on. I know why. Because it's not supposed to be calculate chrome flags for child. It's calculate chrome flags for parent. That's what it is. Because we're running in privileged scope. Yeah. Here we go. In this case, the dialog, we are a dialog. We do have a Chrome URL. We do have Chrome parent not called from JS. That's strange. A called from JS is true here. Why is A called from JS false in here? 1, 2, 3, 4 after features. 1, 2, 3, 4. A called from JS is true. Should definitely be true in here. What? Why is A called from JS false? Maybe that's like an optimization. This is an opt build that we're looking at here. I'm kind of cheating. So the question is, how come oh, and then calculate Chrome flags helper is where the location is computed. Okay. Initial flags to the features is that string, location is yes. And so we're going to go through each of these. Painfully slowly. I'm demanding much from my machine right now. I'm doing a build, I'm streaming this whole thing, and I'm debugging Firefox. Come on. Okay, so the first thing we do is we make sure that we can get the preferences service and the disable features pref branch, because there are a number of features that users can disable. Force enable is false. Presence flag is false. And then we see whether or not, I'm going to put a breakpoint on the location one because that's the one we really care about. But let's just see how this thing behaves when we enter it for title bar. This might not be working out because it's a macro and the opt build may like inline some of the macro stuff, or it's doing some optimization, which means that we can't really debug it nicely. Shoot! Good news though, the debug build is almost done. So yeah, it's approaching the linking stage. So you know what, I'm gonna stop it right there. This is not gonna be fruitful. Take it down. Take it down. Let's see if I can free up some CPU to finish this build faster. In the meantime, let's see if we can solve it by inspection. So I'm calculating the Chrome flags for the parent. Features is not empty, so we start with Chrome window borders. It is a dialog. We don't have the all. And then we use calculate Chrome flags helper. I have the feature string. And then here we get whether or not we're force enabling the feature. Check to see if the flag is 0. See whether or not we have the location. That looks like it should work okay. Out of curiosity, I wonder if, well, the other one is a little more dubious because it fails intermittently, but I wonder if like there's a similar window opening going on in this test as well with like feature strings. Let's take a look at that. There is a feature string and a window opening. No dice. Well, like that, we'll look at that one next. That's a pain in the butt. But nothing jumps out at me. I don't think it's the same thing. But maybe it is. Maybe if the snapshot canvases are not the same size, maybe it's because the window decorations are not the same. I don't know. I didn't change too much. Just reorganized how the flags are calculated to not like duplicate so much. Well, while I'm waiting, maybe I can do some other stuff that I wanted to clean up. Like I've made this global static, and you know what would be better probably is doing the following. Well, first of all, where am I? Whew. I thought we were approaching linking, but I was wrong. Okay, we are we at the patch that I want to be at? What? Yes, this is the patch that I want to be at. Do I have any changes? Probably a couple for the test. Yeah, some logging that I added. And this was a Hail Mary attempted a solution, which didn't actually, the code never even ran. So, revert it. And then what I'll do instead is I'm going to clean up some of the stuff. So, NS window watcher dot h. What? Window watcher dot h. That's the one. I got a couple of these static methods defined, like calculate Chrome flags helper. And I think what I'm going to do is put them protected public. Private. I might make them private. Protected. Static. Calculate Chrome flags helper. And then I can get rid of that. Static, and then these are like this. else did I want to do that for? Ensure flag safe for content, same thing. Ensure flags safe for content. I moved Win has option, and I probably shouldn't have. I didn't need to. I'll probably move it back now. Has option. Win has option got moved from where? I put it back here. What was that? Calculate complex for child. And then where was the actual definition of it? What? When has option was put in after this comment. Where is this comment? It's after calculate Chrome flags for parent. So when has option. I gotta find it. I think it's at the top. You know what? It's at the top, so yeah. Calculate Chrome flags for parent. There. We're gonna put it back underneath it. Okay. That should just work. No big changes there, just reorganizing how some of the static methods work. How are we doing on this build? Neko is compiling right now. Here, I'll show you. This is where we're at. So, like, how can we interpret this? Some layout stuff, Zool, but in particular, we've got like network protocol stuff is being compiled. I don't know what's being compiled right now. It's taking forever. XPT is like some of the embedding, printing stuff. Yay! I worked on some of that. I added that component. I feel so guilty. I have guilt. Feel shame. So while we're waiting for this this debug build to finish, I don't really have any theories, but on why this thing's failing. So I'm going to switch tasks briefly and see if I can answer one of these neat infos while we wait for this build to finish. So the need info is for this intermittent browser compartments. Total time, it was like this really frequent intermittent failure. So this is a Mac only intermittent that stopped for 5 months and resurfaced on June 10th as Linux. Pretty weird since I haven't touched the code looking at the logs. I only see a single patch in Mozilla Central around that day. I guess everybody was in the plane. It doesn't even get close to this code. Like, do you know if we change anything big in test around these dates? Change in infrastructure on June 10th. June 10th. June 10th. I can't think of anything that happened in infrastructure. June 10th. What was happening around June 10th? Let me pull up my personal calendar, so I'm going to do that off screen. What was happening around June 10th? June 10th. That was just before the trip to London. I guess the question is, when were contextual identities enabled by default? Privacy. What was it? Privacy. Containers. What is it called? Privacy. Context. Man, privacy user context enabled. That's what it was. When was that set? Tonvi. About a month ago, and it was done 22 days on the 14th, so no. What even is this intermittent? We're intermittently failing sanity check. Total user time of component is not possible larger than that of process something or other. Oh, this has nothing to do with compartments. It's or containers. It's compartments. Oh, geez. No, I can't think of anything. I'm afraid nothing sticks out in memory. Do you know if we changed any? Hey. I'm going to redirect basically. Okay. So that's clear to need info. Build's still going. Whoops, didn't mean to open Slack. Quit. So we're going to clear that one out. Style. I want to format it with a strike through. And this one is next. Web extension page causes Firefox shutdown to hang. Only attached extension in about debugging. This is Bill M. filed this one. Fantastic engineer. Very proud to work with him. Click the browser action icon will show him in a new tab. Quits, it hangs. Eventually prints a message about session restore hanging. The tab flusher code sends an async message to each browser in a window and waits for a response. Immediately after it sends a message, we remove the tab. I guess there's an argument that we shouldn't remove extension pages that app shutdown. Any chance you could look at this? Okay. Immediately after it sends the message, we remove the tab. Huh. Tab state flusher. State flusher. Resolve all. Session start error. Clean up window. Browser crashed. Hangs and eventually been smashed by session restore hanging. Tab flusher code sends an async message to each browser in a window and waits for a response. Immediately after it sends the message, we remove the tab. Any chance you could look this? Yeah, I could take a peek. So I'm going to assign that to myself. Seeing Mike DeBoer, who's recently become gonna make sure the right people know what's going on. Then I'm going to add this to my queue. Active bugs. So many active bugs. A lot of these are out of date and need to go away. So it's not like I have that many in my queue. I just need to clean them out. Like Ethernet support for printing. Boom, done. I don't know why it's still in there. So that need info is cleared. We're gonna clear this. Format, strike through. Hello, Cold Black Ice. Welcome to the IRC channel. Let's see. We still building here? Like, what's taking forever? What is going on? Half an hour to do a clobber build? Okay, we already linked. I think we linked, so all the hard part's over. We just have to we're just finishing up building some of the support libraries, like some media stuff. Maybe it's just because debug builds take forever to build. Okay, well, maybe we can figure out one more need info before it's done. So if a bug was filed, should not restore as non-remote. Do you want to upload this for 4849 if this patch is not too risky? Who's Jerry Chang? I'm not sure. Alright. I'm not sure this warrants an uplift. I believe that only a user. I believe this bug. It's pretty hard to hit. This doesn't strike me as a common bug, and if the user has ever resized, especially because if the user has ever resized a window. Resized the window, I believe. We sidestepped the issue. It's only for new profiles. I believe it's only for new profiles that the str caused the bug. This for 49, 48, 49. Who is Jerry Chang? Let me see if I can find out who this is. Just make sure I understand the full context. I'll do that in a separate window.
It's me, Mario!
Is a release manager. It is low risk, however. I think so. I could go either way, to be honest. Do you feel like it warrants uplift? Other Jerry Chang. What? Yeah. Holy smokes, this is like a Windows build. This is taking forever. Okay, well, we cleared out yet another need info, so I'm gonna strike this one off the list. And that's why you always have a backup plan of things to do, chores to do whenever your main chore is blocked. Then you can't see the tab at all, right? You'd only see the plus button moving with no separators before it. See a continuous blurb of the text of 3 tabs, no separators between them for bit. Good point, Heis. Good point. But no matter, our build is done, thank goodness. So now we might be able to get some answers. So let's run our build. Let's run our build. Moki test. What was the test? This one. We're gonna no auto run it. We're gonna do exactly this. We're gonna use Xcode to attach to this process. No, not XPC shell. Ah, detach, detach. How do I detach? Shoot, I didn't want to detach. Detach. There we go. It's this one I wanted. 66154. Okay. Nope. Now I want to pause and add my breakpoint. The one I wanted to break on was calculate Chrome flags for parent. And we're going to run. Right, it's doing the whole test. Should have modified the test so that we didn't have to do that. But whatever. There we go. Calculate Chrome flags for parent, and then we're gonna boop. And in this case, yeah, call from JS is true. That's what I thought. It was some kind of optimization we were running into before. So we're here. We have our flag. We're going to calculate the flag for location, but first let's calculate it for title bar and see how it works. What's happening here? I thought maybe we'd get inside the macro. Seriously, we're not going to get inside the macro. I just want, let me. Out, out, out. Alright. Well, we're not going to get inside the macro, unfortunately, but we're going to see whether or not the window has the option. Begin reading. So we're looking for location in here. Yeah, this is the one we care about. Somehow we skipped ahead. Oh, wacky. Well, true. Comma. We're going to set the comma to be null. Options. Chrome. Equal. Nope. So then we put it back. Oh, we're going through them one by one. Okay, comma, options equals comma plus one. Next. So the next one should be location, I think. Yeah. Oh, it's dialogue first, sorry. Equal. It's got an equal, yep. Equals no. So the next one is location. Right? Options equals location equals yes. Equal. Okay. Options, okay. So we have matched. Presence flag. Presence flag is true. If equal. Start equals. That's not true. Does equals yes. Found equals 1. So found is 1. Found should equal 1, yes. If found, so we should break out now. So then the Chrome flags should change. Initial flags, Chrome flags are now 2. So then they should change. Yes. Yes, they did change. We should have the location flag set now. That worked properly. So the flags that we end up with is 66. And then, yeah. Wait. If Win has option, feature scroll bars. Presence flag. Did I screw up? How come we didn't add the Chrome scroll bars? I feel like we should have. If Win has option scroll bars, or it's not there. Does it have scroll bars? Did we in the test? Never say anything. So what's presence flag here? Presence flag was true. Scroll bars isn't in here. Oh no. Calculate Chrome flag. Have I somehow screwed up this macro? Get bool pref if force enable and oh, I must have screwed it up a little bit. We're doing that. Wait, no. No, we must have called Win has option. This is all wrong. This Win has option. Sorry, it's very warm in here as well. Kinda private. Okay, I'm gonna disable this for now until we can rerun this. Close. Close. Okay, now run it again. Oh no, it's gonna run this part. Okay, I'm gonna modify the test so that in the future we don't have to run that part. Just call test Chromeless. These are the features. Chrome dialog is no, location equals yes, toolbar equals no. What? I'd never. Damn it. I I never re-enabled my breakpoint. That's a problem. Alright, let's do it again. This time I'm going to re-enable my breakpoint. Win has option. Um, do it. Oh my goodness, come on. What is your hold up? Did we hit the breakpoint? Sig trap? What? I don't even know what's happening. Come on. Still running here. We must have crashed. What happened? Browser exited for some reason. Oh, I think it thought that the test was done. I think the test timed out, so it killed us. Great. Let's do it again. This time gonna be a little more vigorous, I think. And we're gonna attach to that process. Okay. Do it. Ah, oh, why am I attached to XPC shell again? Come on. Come on. What is going on here? Parent 66346. Disable that breakpoint. And yeah. Do it. Close the tabs. Come on. You're killing me. You're killing me. Okay, now re-enable the breakpoint and run. The joy of coding where everything is fighting against you. So one thing that I want to know is whether or not we calculate this correctly. Presence flag is false. Title bar. So title bar is not in there. Close is not in there. Toolbar is in there, so we should see a no. bound. Here, we're still at 2. Come up, and then this should have set the flag. Meanwhile, presence flag has been set to true. Okay. Personal bar. Are any of the other ones Chrome dialog minimize? Okay. So I'm going to go forward, disable this breakpoint until we hit the scroll bar one. Now I'm going to re-enable that breakpoint, or I'm going to step in. So, do you have a scroll bars? Begin reading. And it's going to find that it never finds it. Presence flag is pointed at true right now. Presence flag never gets set to false. Oh. Oh, that's a bug. That's the problem. Presence flag is never set to false. Should probably default it to false to begin with. Okay. So that's one problem. If a presence flag fix the scroll bar problem, it still doesn't, like, we have set the flag. Like, we have, at this point, when we go back to calculate Chrome flags helper, we've got a Chrome flags of 66, and that's what's going to get returned. Whoa, Xcode, calm yourself, calm yourself. And a Chrome flags of 66, I mean, decimal to binary, if we look at 66, it's these two flags, and the location one, is that the one we were worried about? Location, Chrome location, whoops, is 0040 in hex, or no, in binary. So that should be probably this one, which is which bit in 0th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th in 40. Oh, wait a second, hold on, am I doing this wrong? It should be the hex value. I think this is hex. Not 40. My brain, it's so hot in here. Convert programmer. I need hex decimal 40 in binary. Show me in binary. Oh, whoops. Jeez. Oh, this is actually handy. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So the right bit is flipped. The correct bit is flipped. This one. Wait, is it? 66. 3, 6. Yeah, it is. It is. So I would expect the location bar to not be um, in the Chrome hidden attribute. And yet it is. So let's see what's going on. Chrome location. Where is that used? Chrome location bar. Get visibility flag. Watcher, web shell window. We'll take a look at that. Look at that. This one here. Apply Chrome flags. We're going to break here. Clear that breakpoint. So what are the Chrome flags? M Chrome flags, PM Chrome flags. Is that this sort of gobbledygook? And if we convert that to decimal or to binary, what? Our bit was removed. That's a problem. The Chrome flags that got set were never set. Am I calling it wrong? Helper. Chrome flags. Calculate Chrome flags for parent. Okay, so I'm going to continue. That's really interesting. The wrong Chrome flags are being stashed. The ones that we calculated weren't being set. What the dealio? Okay, so let's do it again. But this time, oh, are you killing it? Did timeout? No. Yes. Yeah, alright, you killed it. Alright. The Chrome flags aren't being set correctly. Why not? Okay, well, one thing I'm going to do right now is, oh, no, instead of running the test, I'm going to run, um, just with my profile. That way we won't have it killing us, taking us down every time. And I'll attach to the parent. Okay, gonna break on, I think, open window internal. this old chestnut. Actually, and now I'm going to disable that until disable 7. Come on.
What happened? I can't do my work.
There we go. Close some of these things down. Wake up! What is my machine doing? OBS, why are you so expensive? Oh, and Xcode's taking up so much memory. I have a VirtualBox running? Oh my goodness. You know what? I think I have a Docker running. Docker VirtualBox running. That'll probably help if I shut that down. Docker machine. Help. Docker machine. Stop. How do I stop it? Stop the machine. Machine stop default. Did I just reclaim a bunch of memory? I did. Wicked. Alright. Now I will, now this is done, I will open the browser console, paste my string. This is painful. Painfully slow. Come on. Just show me the browser. Oh, that's why it's painfully slow. Yeah, allow. And now I will re-enable the breakpoint. Okay, we're here. And the calculations of Chrome flags happens down here. Can continue. Our Chrome flags start out as what? 0. We're going to enter here. Pretty sure this calculates it correctly. At this point, we get Chrome flags as 2, and then eventually we get past all this. So now Chrome flags is 66 as we would expect. Chrome flags is now this value, which is probably okay. Because we still have that bit there. no, 49670. Still good. You know what I'll bet it is? I'll bet it's in the safety thing I added to ensure flags safe for content. So now Chrome flags are this. 2147483 Oh! No, they're not. They got cleared out sometime between here and there. Interesting. How did that happen? Is dialogue true? Dialogue is true. And not features is empty. We do this equal sign. We erase everything we calculated over here. Oh. When? That's what's going on. Why would we do that? I hate bit masks. Why would we do that? Why do we do that? Okay. I believe in the pre-existing code. And feature specified. And not presence flag. When is this happened a long time ago. Adding ability to WinWatch to open windows without parents. I added this part. Shoot. Oh god. What did I do? What did I do? Having fear and I figure that. Okay, we're accidentally overriding Chrome flags with Chrome default, which should only do if the callers provide a feature string when opening a dialog. Got rid of a short circuit that was originally on top of calculated Chrome lines that would detect if you're opening a dialog and then return early. It's because we need to lay large carrying remote not realized, but then now that we fall through, the conditional I'm changing overwrites the Chrome flags in the original short-circuited case. Opening a dialog. The conditional I'm changing overwrites the Chrome flags in the original short-circuited case. No feature string opens a dialog. Originally at the top of that would detect if we were opening a dialog and then return early. Let's take a look at the diff. I think we're honing in on the root of the matter. Once we figure this out and I want to get this test passing, I think I'm going to call the episode right there. But before we were doing is if there were no features, if we were a dialogue, we would do these things and we would return early. If there were no features. Now, and in this patch I made it so that if there were no features and we were a dialogue, but then we would keep going. And that opened this bug. And so I wrote this. Accidentally overriding Chrome flags with Chrome default, which should only do if the callers provide a feature string when opening a dialog. What? Why would we ever want to do this? Chrome default. Gonna continue here. Why is the presence flag necessary? We essentially overwrite everything we've done here for opening up a dialog. Why? Why do we do that? That doesn't make any sense. How did this ever work? I guess that's the next question. If I debug, if I do a build from before my patches, how does this work? So I'm gonna kill and then shelve my changes. I'm gonna go back before my change. I'm gonna run my test again, or I'm gonna shelve that. Don't have to deal with all the evolving. Let's go down to here. Let's build this up. Oh, mouse config, we're doing debug, mock build. Hopefully this won't take too long, and then we'll see what we normally do. And in the meantime, maybe we can answer another need info. So this tab separator thing, originally my idea was if it makes sense to hide the tab separators before and after a tab that is animating, that'd maybe sidestep this a little. Then you can't see the tab at all, right? You'd only see the plus button moving with no separator before it. Also be a bit weird for closing tabs. Middle. You'd see a continuous blurb of the text of 3 tabs with no separators between them for a bit. Yeah. Yeah, that's accurate. I think my idea was a little half-baked. Doesn't make sense to me that a tab separator ever displays on top of the new tab button. That shouldn't even ever be physically possible in terms of margins, padding involved. Feels like we're missing something. Well, let's take a look here. What's happening? Well, a new tab button is, I think, transparent. Save for the outline. Save for the outline. Do we know that the separator is actually appearing on top of the tab, new tab button? The screenshot doesn't make it super clear. Since, from what I remember, the new tab button is transparent even on hover, has a transparent background. And just shows an outline when clicked, when hovered. Perhaps we're seeing a tab separator leaking through that transparency. I don't know if that's very helpful. Okay, linking Zool. Almost done this other debug build. And because I'm using Ccache, it'll be much cheaper to go back and forth. Ooh, it is warm in here. I'm just gonna open this just a little bit, get some air flowing, because holy smokes, it is cooking. Okay, so what we were gonna do is figure out, now that I've loaded up all of my loaded up everything before the changes I had made, is to figure out what we normally do whenever, for this line right here. Like, because we do all these calculations, and then we just like normally throw them away right here. That's my question. So let's find out. scaling. But it's debug build, not surprising. My goodness, come on. Okay, gonna open up browser console, gonna get ready to attach to the parent. I'm gonna get rid of all of my existing breakpoints actually. But I'm gonna find, what was it, line 1690. Right here. And here is where I'm gonna break. Well, there we go. Hey fellas, you wanna come and say hi? You wanna live stream? No? Almost. Almost. There's some people who are outside. I wanted to try and rope them in. I heard them briefly. Okay, where am I? Am I attached to the process? I'm not even attached to the process. I gotta do that. 78917. Okay. Here we go. Spinny, spinny, spinny. Okay. So at this point, we had calculated some Chrome flags. I'm at 1048.578. And then we get through all those other ones. 1048.642. So if we, that sounds familiar. Nope, not that. I want the calculator. 48.642. So we've got, yeah, the appropriate bit that we want. And presence flag is true. That's the thing. And that's why we skip over it. What? Presence flag is true. So we skip over. What does that piece of information mean? Because that's the thing that's changed everything. Presence flag. Let's see if we can scope out the provenance of this presence flag using SearchFox to take us back to the beginning of time. PR bool. Aha. Open Windows without parents. Way back in the day. Hyatt. Oh my goodness. These are old names. So what happens is add this presence flag thing. These functions become complicated. The difference is browser runs a small Chrome. Browser runs a small Chrome is not explicitly mentioned as off if the feature string is not null. Dialogues turn a mostly empty feature string to mean OS's choice. Run all flags, just allowing it in the standards compliant window, normal open. Presence flag. So that's when presence flag was added. Now, currently application searching window opening for JS is way back in the day. Oh my goodness. A couple methods. Yeah, a bunch of uninitialized variables. So it looks like the presence of stuff, any of those things, is important. So maybe that's what I should be passing along in my patch. Like, and I think the change I made where I'm like, well, just like set the presence flag to false is wrong. And I think I need to document what presence flag is for because it's really not clear. Shelf. Flags helper. And then presence flag is used here. Chrome flags helper. Presence flag. Presence flag. Wait. Bool. Reference. Deref, or, yeah, presence flag. Set its value. So will that do it? Presence flag. Helper. Mock build now. If this fixes it, I have some explaining to do about presence flag. I have to write some documentation because that is horrifying. Just waiting for this build to finish. Maybe we can do another neat info. While we wait, let's try this one. Tab switching under load. So this is something Blasty was working on. Use try to interact with the browser while at least one tab's doing something that slows us down. We should start measuring that scenario. We have a couple things the pipeline are addressed by either data that I'd like data rather than feels better. I'll select to not lose any wins we get by accidentally regressing. Replace the about blank steady state tab with one that puts the content process under heavy load. There's a lot of video room to quibble here. The workload is almost 100% JS with this patch. Should we exercise other areas? Aside from style, she looks fine. I just think we should have a realistic workload. We're not sold on this approach. Perhaps we just need a bit more convincing. We're going to block the rendering loop for 2,000 milliseconds at an arbitrary point in the event loop. This will make this test very noisy, I think. Perhaps it'll make it bimodal, perhaps multimodal, based on how many times you have to flush the event loop. Chrome's still responsive. Switch tabs in the target content process, but that's not what we're doing here. Page switch measures the time until the tab switch is fully complete. We're choosing Chrome process lag and not content process lag. It's really measuring the number of round trips we make around the event loop that's under load. Loop load. I don't think it particularly matters where it's coming from. Load in the Chrome process must be remote version simulation to have a remote requirement. Let's take a look at this patch. Switch between tabs. TPS load. Load no cache. 0. Okay. Add load equals false. If add load, then the initial tab load.html. Yeah, that needs to load in the content process. Is this test meaningful in non-ETNS? Like, I don't expect us are we doing work, or do we care about measuring tab switch under load in the non-ETNS case? Is that a thing we could off the top of my head? I don't see that being. Do we care about measuring? If not, we might want to make this somehow ETNS only. Let's see. Load.html. Evil function. It'll do a busy while loop. And then it's gonna flip back and it's gonna what? After it's gonna flip-flop the colors of the page after the wait count. set interval here, I guess. Hmm. Hang on. Arbitrary point in the event loop. Let's make this very noisy. I agree that because because load.html is likely, I agree that because load is just getting busy, is busy when at becomes busy as soon as possible and repeats as soon as possible. We run the risk I agree with Benoit. Because it becomes busy and repeats as soon as possible. We don't really have a nice way of knowing when the event loop will be freed. That, I think that'd be a point, that I worry that this will introduce noise. I also worry that this will introduce noise. Perhaps instead is we could send a message down to the initial tab after we've switched to the perhaps we could do this instead. Load the TP5 set to load the busy page in the initial tab, but don't kick off busy activities yet. 3, switch to one page in the TP5 set, switch to a tab, TP5 set. 4, send a message to the busy page to paint a busy page to get busy, and then switch to it. Once busy page has painted, let's see, send another, wait, load the TP5 set load, don't kick off any busy activities yet. Send a message to the initial tab to get busy. Have the initial tab selected. Switch to one page in the TP5 set. Record how long it takes to switch to it and paint. Wait until the initial page has stopped being busy, and then send it another message to get busy again. Get busy again, switch back to the initial tab, record how long it takes to switch to it and paint, wait until the initial page has stopped being busy, and repeat for each tab in the TP5 set. Okay. Meanwhile, has our debug build finished? Oh, it errored out. Missing default argument on parameter. Missing default argument? Oh, shoot. Um, error, non-const L value cannot be. I feel bad about this. Hold up. What am I going to do? Pool. I think what I need to do is put this before the optional arguments. Presence flag. And then calculate Chrome flags helper. We'll have to move that. Alright. Let's try that. Holy smokes! Let's see here. Our time's got to be almost up. Although I feel like we've been doing good work. I've been clearing a lot of neat infos, which is great. So it appears to be on top of it. Shoot! Doesn't like it. Too few arguments. Oh. Here we go. No, doesn't like it. Non-const. Passing our to parameter. Cannot bind to temporary of type bool. Non-const L value reference to type bool. Linking.
What happened?
Okay. Now let's see if we fix the problem. Oh, and did I get rid of the... Hang on, there was another part. Win has option. I gotta get rid of this thing. This is all wrong. Stop. Oh, I'm gonna play this air horn so loud if this fixes the problem. And we crashed. What? Okay. Let's try that again. I assume that was like a one-time fluke. There we go. Oh, debug builds kill me. How slow they are. So I answered that question. I'm gonna format this one as strike through. Next one. While we wait, are you ready? Yes. Load the browser console. Healthline. Website crashes Firefox. Do you have relevant information to investigate this issue? Oh, I hope to goodness that there are symbols in this. No, there are no symbols in this profile. Clear plugin cookies. I got error code while using the Healthline. I'm afraid that when you get a 503 from the symbol server, the profile that gets spat out is usually unintelligible, which is unfortunately the case here. If you have a few moments, could you try to gather another profile? The symbol server was out of commission a few weeks back, but currently appears to be running. Okay. And now we open our window. Hey, and it's got the thing that we need. Great. So now let's run our test. We'll just run the bare minimum. Yeah. Browser-based content test general. Run the test. Do it. And I think this will fix it. And then I'll know what the problem had been, which was that the presence flag. What are you talking about? Missing MokiKit extension. Anyhow, I do believe this will address the issue. Okay. Come on. Yeah! Test pass! We did it!
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so learned a valuable lesson there about presence flag. What was it? Yeah, presence flag and how it needs to be passed around. I am going to update the documentation there because that's super, super unintuitive. And that might make it clear for future spelunkers in Window Watcher. But folks, that's it. Figured out what's wrong with that test. I'm going to start looking into the other ones later today and maybe finish up this patch and have Smaug look at it, the next version. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Thank you so much for watching. Hang on. Whoops, hang on. Thank you so much for watching episode 62 of The Joy of Coding. This was a heck of a trial, but we got through it. We got through in the end. I hope that wasn't too loud just now. I'm actually going to bring that down a little. Dennis, I hope that wasn't too loud for you. I know you were talking about the air horn. Yeah, let me know what you thought. If you go into the agenda, there's a link to rate this episode. Let me know what you thought. And yeah, come talk to me and hash live hacking. I'd love to talk to you about setting up your own like Mozilla live hacking series. I know a number of people have been doing that. The Joy of, I think, Automation. The Joy of Automation's a thing. Let me see how many episodes they've got. The Joy of Automation. I think they're up to 6 episodes. They haven't done any recently, but hopefully they'll be adding more soon. So that's pretty exciting. There's a link to the Joy of Automation in the agenda as well. I highly recommend checking it out, along with let's see, Joy of Illustrating's in there, Lost in Data, Hour of Design. There's some great stuff. Go check it out. And if you want to set up your own, it doesn't matter what you're doing in the community. You could be coding, doing design, doing QA, doing bug triage, testing, who knows, documentation, working with, I don't know, trying to like teach encryption, whatever. I want to hear about it, and then maybe we can put a channel together about it, or put an episode or two together about it. So come let me know. Drop into the Live Hacking IRC channel. Talk to Richard or myself. We'll help you get a channel set up. Who knows? Maybe you can like get a fancy green screen like this. Woo! This isn't actually a Firefox logo. This is just a green screen. Look, I'm gonna reveal the magic. Look at this magic. This green screen fabric is magical. Thank you, Richard, for that. Maybe you can get your own green screen, do a couple episodes of your own show. Anyways, thank you so much for watching episode 62 of The Joy of Coding. I will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye. Ta-ta.
The joy of coding.
See ya.